It's the White Tea and Chris Show, SA Bros.
Yes. Good evening and welkom allemaal by SA Bros op 'n Vrydag aand. Hoe lyk dit, Chris?
Dude, ek super excited. Dis Vrydag. Fucking dop is legal. Life is great. Ek het lekker gebraai vanaand. Wat het jy als gedoen nou?
Yesterday, ek het maar gewerk die hele dag. Ek het fucking so 6 uur se kant hier by die huis gekom nadat ek so 7 uur se kant begin werk het. Ek moes baie teeblare gaan kry, rooibos tee, Engelse tee en wat's die ander een?
Earl Grey.
Earl Grey, yes. Earl Grey tee. So fuck, ek het rondgery hoor.
Dis great so, man. Hoor jy doen 'n great service. Dankie dat jy so mooi kyk na die ouer huise met hulle tee.
Ja, hulle korte dringend.
En ek check Sean Wright is al hier so, my man.
Sean Wright is altyd eerste. Hy's altyd eerste. Wat sê jy, bro?
Dude, ek het vandag vir hom musiek gestuur wat hy in sy kar kan luister. Whatever ek op my foon gehad het, fucking beer in die boerstaf, goed wat ander mense nog nie eens gehoor het nie, het ek vir daai braai gestuur.
Chester, is jy darm gangster of is jy darm gangster?
Ag man, ek is 'n fucking amazing man.
Weet jy Sean, dit is so 'n bietjie koelerig. Ek gaan nou hierdie ding uittrek. Ek het try om so 10 minute te lê en slaap en toe wou ek nou nie 'n duvet hoor sit en toe trek ek maar die ding aan. Maar as ek eers begin DJ nou dan fucking raak ek mos mal en dan raak dit baie warm hier so ja.
Maar hoorie wat ek dink voor ons vanaand begin, ons moet vir hierdie ouens sê, vanaand is dikske aand. Ons het een van die legends van fucking rave musiek op vanaand en dude, dit gaan phenomenal wees. En ek en Whitey gaan self julle ouens lekker 'n stukkend skit vanaand, maar
dis mos Vrydag aand.
Dit is Vrydag aand my bro. En weet jy wat's baie funny bro, for a change sit ek hier so met 'n slukkie.
Hey! Check vir jou.
Hey, wat's 'n kak gaan nie aan. Waar's jou slukkie?
Hy kom. Ek gaan nou skink. Ek het maar hier kon sit en gou werk. So julle moet my maar verskoon. But guys, before we go on to our pre-recorded interview with DJ Costa that we did on Sunday, thank you so much for you guys emailing your photos, but we still need a lot of photos. So we're on 53 photos so far. So thank you so much for everybody who sent it. So please guys, the email address here below, cy.sabros@gmail.com. Send a picture there saying you love SA Bros or thank you SA Bros or fuck whatever you want to. As jy het Kaal wil doen het Kaal in 'n speedo. We don't care. We couldn't care less.
Jy het 'n manier met woorde, weet jy dit. Fuck whatever you want to.
Hou soos 'n kont aan.
Ek gaan niks meer sê nie, but guys, do get your pictures in. You know what? Get your cousins, get your ma's kinders fucking to take a printjie there with you. En gooi vir ons 'n foto op. Dude, ek is excited oor vanaand hou. Vanaand gaan my fok wees. Ek weet dit.
Yeah. So guys, I think without any further ado, let's watch this interview that happened on Sunday, but you guys are seeing it now for the very first time.
Yes.
I'm going to mute our mics, but we'll stay with you on the comments, okay?
Yes. So, en ons kan hier so bly.
Ja. Maar kom ons hou dit groot vir hulle dat hulle ordentlik kan sing. Onthou druk dit ook klaar so klein vir hulle. So ek gaan ek meet ons, okay. Shop.
Whitey, ons sit met 'n baie groot probleem. Daar's niks klank op hierdie video nie, doen. So ons gaan hom weer moet begin en net almal laat weet, hoor hierso ons sort dit uit, hang gebal. Ek kan jou nie hoor, jou mic is nog gemute, dude.
Yes, is dit Vrydag aand, sukkel ek weer so. Okay.
Ja,
kan jy my nou hoor?
Ja, kan jy nou hoor. Jy kort brandewyn.
Okay, sorry boys. Let's try that again, shall we?
Yeah.
Chris, sê vir my of jy kan hoor, okay? So
okay.
let's bring DJ Costa in. Here we
Yes,
go.
yes,
Cool. Costa, how you,
How you
brother?
doing?
How you doing?
yes.
Very well, thank you, guys. Nice to be here.
Holy, dude, it's so awesome seeing you. You know what? You've been part of our upbringing. If you were ever in any club or raver or listened to in your car in South Africa, you've always been there. And you were part of our upbringing. You're part of the fiver that used to make up South Africa, and it's phenomenal to actually be speaking to you, man. Thank you for giving us your time, bro.
It's not a problem. You make me sound like I've been around for 100 years or something like that. Jeez, I
Ouch.
look good. I look good for 100.
You look
Yeah, not too
amazing
bad.
for 100, bro. It's that stem cell research. That shit's working.
There you
Well,
go.
but you know what? To get to it, it is Friday night. I know this is a pre-recording, but we're gonna treat it as a Friday night. It is Friday night. We got DJ Costa in the house. Costa, where did your love for music start, man? Where did you like? When did you decide? Listen, I want to be a DJ. I want to do this for a living.
Well, music as a whole, I've loved it probably since I could remember, since I was
Yeah.
a young kid. I used to study the piano, classical piano, till I was about 14 years old, and then I
Yeah.
decided, I wanted to do something else with music, and started looking around for friends that had equipment and stuff like
Yeah.
that to try and get into the DJ scene, and started at high school, working with friends of mine. Michael, he had a what you call a mobile disco. So what I did was I hooked up with him and we played parties, and then went to the army like every normal South African boy back then.
Yeah.
When I was 18, and while I was in the army, was playing at started playing at my first club. Well, I
And-
started playing my first club when I was still at high school, but
Yeah.
I wasn't a resident of any sort. I just started getting my feet wet,
Yes.
so I was still at high school then, So
Yes, man. And you know what? When did you decide? Okay, or how did it come about that you actually started recording Bump? Was it the club first or the CD first?
club first. The Bump CD came up after the club was released. It was I don't know. I'd been working on the concept for a while. I'd been working in the music industry. I was working at EMI Records for a long time,
Yeah.
and I wanted to release an album or do an album of sorts with the concept of what Bump was.
Yeah.
My idea at the time was to release a CD, or in this case, an album, because cassette tapes were still around those days.
Okay, cool.
1997, yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm a
so
chick, yeah.
yeah, so I decided, the concept would be a nightclub on a CD. So the idea was for somebody who was going to buy the album
Yeah.
to be able to put the CD in their car or at a braai or at the party, and
Yeah.
you would listen to the transition of a nightclub all
Yeah.
the way through. So an evening of, I'm scratching my eye there.
Mm.
An evening of 8 hours at a nightclub, 10 hours. Back in those days, we closed at 4 o'clock in the morning, sometimes
Yes.
5.
The good old days.
Yeah. And we decided, in those days, it was 74 minutes you could put on a CD. Later, it became 79 minutes.
Yeah.
So we tried to compress a night onto a CD. And that was my
Yeah.
concept.
Yeah. And you know what? It worked great. Yes. You won't believe this. Last Friday, me and Whitey were busy playing bump tunes. Every Friday night, we DJ on Twitch, and then we play like old school stuff. And you won't believe how many of the tracks that you used to like put on the discs and stuff is the stuff we like came up with. Because I remember being in high school having to record like Derek the Bandit sessions on 5FM to actually have some dance music and stuff. That because I'm a rock musician, but I was totally a dance freak when I was a younger man. And the moment Bump came out, it was just a game changer, dude. You changed South Africa. You made everybody ravers back there.
It was for me, it was a big deal.
Yeah.
I had released other albums up until that point, obviously working with EMI Records, but none of them. The only club album that I'd released before then was called Mega Hits from the Mega Club. When I was still working at Whitehorse.
Yeah.
That was my first. That was the first album that I released that was club level.
Yeah.
After that, it was all record company level. So
Yeah.
all the music was, just tracks that we put together on albums, and we released it that way. But I've been working on the concept, like I said, of the bump concept. I've been working on for many years.
Yeah.
I just didn't have an avenue to release it, and it was just about timing. Bump Club opened up. It
Yeah.
was a huge success with what we did with the marketing and everything. And the record company, which at that stage was Tusk Records, which then became part of Gallo Record Company,
Yes.
um, we they were the ones that released the first Bump album,
Yeah.
which was at the time that Tusk was becoming part of Gallo. So it was originally released through Gallo, and the idea was to release this album to see what would happen.
Yeah.
It was November of '97. We released
Mm.
the album. The club opened September of '97.
Yes.
It's just the name of the club, the name of the CD. It was just the right time, the right place, the right name, and the concept fitted.
And tell me, how many volumes did you bring out? Because I stopped counting at like 22.
There's 35 Bump albums and one limited edition that we released on what people call the Millennium '99 to 2000 year.
Yes.
It was only for the club. It was called
Yeah.
Bump 2000,
Yeah.
and we gave it to every single person that paid to come. Well, everybody paid to come into the club
Yeah.
on New Year's Eve. That's the one rule I had at any club that I worked at.
Yeah.
On New Year's Eve, doesn't matter whether you were a VIP special guest, doesn't matter. You paid to come in. That was
Yeah.
your entry fee for if you're a club VIP that you never ever paid. That
Yeah.
was your VIP payment for the year. Basically, it was just but everybody paid, got a CD. So we printed up only 5,000 copies,
Yeah.
and 5,000 people got a CD. That's it.
Dude, because I remember being in Bump, that was like the school of dancing. Everybody
Yeah.
that had to party ended up at Bump, especially us Kempton or East Rand boys and then the Pretoria guys. It was a central place for all of us to like get together.
Yeah.
And man, the memories I've had in that place. And you know how many freaking nuts I skit my gat in front of you before I even. I was a fan before I ever met you, man. It was insane. I can't believe it.
It
Yeah.
was
Yes.
it was I'd worked in many clubs up until that point.
Yeah.
The Bump itself, just like I said, it was all about timing, the right place, right time, right everything.
Yeah.
It worked out well. It was a central point in Midrand. It was basically centralized to Johannesburg, to the East
Yeah.
Rand, to the West Rand, to Pretoria. It was almost equidistant for everybody to travel to get to Bump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were only open 2 nights a week, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we opened other nights when it was either a holiday time or the next day was a holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like in December, for example, or July, April, and then the September week break, we would open extra nights. But otherwise, it was Friday, Saturday.
Now, who was running Bump with you? Who was doing that with you?
Well, I was the DJ, and I ran the club as well for a while.
Yeah.
Only later on, there were many partners that were at the club. They were the ones in charge of the club.
Okay.
They put it together. There was 6 partners at the time that I knew of,
Yeah.
and I'm not going to go into mentioning
No.
names and everything like that because some of them might not want their names mentioned on social media, so that's
Yes.
fine. And it was great. They were all great to work with. One guy in particular, and it was that was how it came about.
And you know what? For any album to be that successful, to have that many volumes out, that speaks words, And tell me, what success rate did you have? What's the most selling albums that you had on any level?
Well,
Or altogether, how many albums have you sold?
Bump 5 was the most successful album.
Okay.
Also from 1990 to 2000, the Millennium year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was over 200,000 copies, which in those days,
It's
Bump,
platinum. It's diamond.
gold was 50,000.
Yeah.
Oh, no, sorry, my apologies. Gold was 25,000. Platinum was 50,000.
Yeah.
So we were 2 times platinum on Bump 5. It
Yeah.
also was the year that Cher released her album with Believe on it. Bump
Yes.
was the number one selling album that year across the board.
Yeah.
Yeah, eat that sure. Yeah,
That's
man.
just one album. So in the 35 albums, I would estimate over 2 million copies were sold because
Wow.
uh, later on the standard of gold and platinum changed.
Yeah.
And if you release a double album, if you triple album, and the gold and platinum status has changed. It
Yeah.
wasn't 25,000. It dropped because it was a double or a triple album. So I'm not
Yeah.
100% sure, but
Yeah.
I know for a fact that up until Bump 25, every single album was gold or platinum.
Well, dude, that makes you one of the most successful freaking artists in South Africa.
Yeah.
I would,
Absolutely.
I've always been humble about that. The only reason I became that successful is because the people supported the brand
Yeah.
and supported what I was trying to do and
Yes.
what the brand as a whole was trying to do. It was not
Yeah.
one person that was like, how can you say, the backbone. It
Yeah.
was, I called it a triangle. There were
Okay.
three factors involved with Bump.
Yeah.
One was the name. Two
Yes.
was myself, the DJ, the concept, and three was the music.
Yeah.
So you can't have a finished triangle without one of them.
You
So
need all of them to work
you
together.
all
Yeah.
need to work together. Now, a lot of people are under the misconception that someone like myself would walk around with a big head and say, I am the brand, or I am this, or I'm that. It's
Yeah.
not like that. I was fortunate enough to be in the right place at the right time. I was
Yeah.
fortunate to have the right name and a record company and a friend, Paul de Klerk,
Yeah.
who saw the potential. This is a private conversation that Paul and I had many years ago.
Yeah.
We released the first album. The first album, nobody made money on. In other
Yeah.
words, artists get paid. And my deal was, let's release the first album. I don't want any money for it. I don't want anything for it. Let's
Yeah.
see what it does.
Yeah.
If it does well, and we start with the second and the third album, then we can talk about money.
Yeah.
So, contrary to what people think, it was not about the money. It was about seeing if it would work.
Yeah.
We had a sales figure in mind back then. Or if it reached 10,000, we would
Yeah.
start working on the second album. By Christmas time, we had sold 14,000.
Yeah.
It was released towards the end of November. By
Yes.
Christmas time, we had sold 14,000.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
we had one key element that was on Bump that helped sell the album, but it was a conscious decision Paul and I made, and probably the record company as well that agreed to it.
Yeah.
We had one track on the album that was not available anywhere. It was Entrance. It was the Entrance, Do You Think I'm Sexy?
Yes. Which is still a banger today, man.
It was the last track on the album. It was the full 12-inch version, and in those days, there was no internet. So you couldn't download the track.
Yes.
You had to buy the track. You had to either
Yeah.
get the CD or the vinyl.
Yeah.
Now, if you were a DJ, you got the vinyl, but most people that wanted to get the song couldn't get it
Yeah.
because there was no CD single released of this track.
Yeah.
It was released solely and exclusively on Bump. And it helped sell the album because that's the year it was a big track.
Yes.
It helped sell the album, so we hit 14,000. Then into 98, we started working on Bump 2. So
Yeah.
February of 98, Paul de Klerk, a very, very clever man, said, you know what, Costa? I'm going to chuck some money behind this album
Yeah.
just to push the album one more time so we go into Bump 2. So there was no advertising after Christmas until that February of 98.
Yeah.
Paul de Klerk just decided, let's put this album in. We're going to advertise it again.
Yeah.
Then in 1 month, the sales jumped from 14,000 to 41,000.
That's insane, no? And tell me, how does your selection happen? How did it happen back then? Because obviously then everything was on vinyl and stuff, and the guys didn't record like today. Unless did you mix on CDJs?
No, those days it was vinyl.
Vinyl, baby. That's why those old albums still freaking bang today. It's just different.
Take
And,
these 1200s. There you go for the win.
So what happened is Bump 1 just came off at the end of February, and Bump
Yeah.
2 released in May.
Yeah.
And the momentum was there. Everybody wanted the Bump album, was wanted, and we'd already started working on it.
Yes.
So by the end of March, Bump 2 was in production. By May, it was out in the stores, and that sold 77,000 copies. So the momentum was there, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
it from that point onwards, it's history.
And it
It,
wasn't gonna
it,
stop, man. Yes,
Yeah.
that's brilliant. And how did you choose your songs? Because obviously back then vinyl, you literally had to listen to each vinyl to get the songs. Not like today, that you can just choose, pick, listen. Screw that.
that,
You had to
that's right.
listen to stuff.
It was a concept, and it was a triangle. Bump the name at that stage was Bump the Club.
Yeah.
Music that was on the Bump albums from Bump 1 to Bump 5 was stuff that was being played at the clubs. So my choices were taken
Yeah.
from what was working at Bump nightclub, which was
Yeah.
generally what was working across the country at most commercial nightclubs and bars and mobile discos
Yeah.
across the country.
Yeah.
So it was big at Bump, and I had a huge success. I would write down the track, and we would try and get it. We didn't
Yeah.
always get all the tracks we wanted, but we got what we got. And like I said, the rest is history. The club, myself, the people responding on the dance floor, the atmosphere,
Yeah.
the responses from the energy from the dance floor. That's how I chose the music.
Yeah.
So the people were involved in the actual selection process, and the people that were going to Bump didn't know it, but they were involved with the actual process. So their responses, their like for a track or
Yeah.
dislike for a track, made me
Mm.
decide what I was going to put on the album. As I said, it was not one thing. Everybody
Yeah.
thinks it was one thing. It wasn't. It was a combination of a lot of things, people, and situations.
Yeah.
Well, dude, the recipe you had was gold, and I'm sure you know what. Even if you have to reinstate that same mentality today, it has to work. And shit, man, I'm blown away. Listen, like I knew it was successful, but I never had an idea of how successful it really was.
Yeah.
Also, knowing you, like you say, you're a very humble guy. You take you willing to speak to my dronkat every time you used to see me, and freak man, and I just never realized that. I knew it was successful, but I couldn't fathom how successful it really was.
Yeah.
And
Well,
just your whole strategy behind it is genius. It's phenomenal.
the success, like I said, it was due to the fact that the Peoples were the ones that made me choose the songs on the album. So if you think about it, it's the clubbers that guided me in what they wanted to hear
Yeah,
when they put an album. That's why I said to you, no one person can take credit for this. Yes,
yeah,
Yeah.
name was there on the album. My name was the one that people related to Bump
yeah,
because I was the one mixing the albums. I was the one choosing the songs, deciding what was going to work on the album, what wasn't going to work. But then I still had to go to the record company and work with people at the record company who agreed with me.
yeah,
Sometimes we didn't agree on songs, which is fine.
Yeah.
No, that's the process. But I had, like I said, in the beginning, I had a guy that was open to this kind of thing, Paul de Klerk.
yeah.
Later on, from
Genius.
he employed a guy that was working for him at the time from Bump 2, which
Yeah,
was Nick Berger,
yeah,
and he started working more closely with me, and we took it from there on for for many years. And then, but Paul de Klerk left with then the CEO of Gala, which was Charles Kuhn, and they opened up another
another
music.
label. Yeah,
Yeah, it was called Next Music,
yeah,
and Nick Berger and I stayed at Gallo, and we carried on with the brand at Gallo all the way through to Bump 25, and then Bump 25 was the Gallo ceased to be the driving album label,
yeah.
and was then sold. Well, not sold, should I say? It went to Soul Candy Records. That was Bump 26 to Bump 35. But I'm not going to go into that for
Yeah.
now. So
Well,
the
listen.
bottom line is Paul de Klerk saw the
Yeah,
vision, and he still remains a very good friend of mine.
Yes.
Still in South Africa. He's a director at Next Music with Charles Kuhn. And, I don't speak to him often, but I consider him a true friend. Because without
True,
him
man.
seeing the vision of what I saw,
Yeah.
it would never have happened. So
Well, you know what? We are grateful that did, man, because
Yeah.
you played the soundtrack to our lives for so long. It's insane. To this
Yeah.
day, if we so anywhere, man, like you say, Brian, we're at a party or something, and you put on an old album. It's not like other stuff that you put on that's old that oaks go, oh yeah, listen to the. You can still listen to it and freaking appreciate it. It's like music to me has become like it's a photo. It's a memory. When you look at photographs, you're taken back there instantly. And when you listen to old music, it does the same thing. It takes you straight back to the memories and the places where
Yeah.
you were at that time,
Yeah.
man.
music will never die. Music always has that effect on people. Doesn't matter what age group you are.
Yeah.
From when music was first became big in the 20s, all the way through to the current stuff. We might not all agree what we like today or
Yeah.
what we used to like, but
Yeah.
it has the same effect on people,
Exactly.
whether it's 1920 or 2020.
Yeah.
So
Correct.
it makes no difference. Everybody has different taste. That's what makes the world go round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And knowing that this interview was going to take place,
Yes.
I started on 2 weeks ago. I actually started working on, for the first time ever. People asked me many, many years from the time Bump was released and Bump finished in 2014.
Yes.
When are you going to do a best of Bump?
Yeah.
Oh,
Could never do it. It was not
Wow.
feasible. The record companies wouldn't do it. But now, for the first time, I've released on my Mixcloud Bump Best of Part 1,
Oh
which is
my
all
God.
the
Well,
commercial version, all the commercial tracks that I liked and
Yes.
I thought from Bump 1 to Bump 35. There are 66 tracks there. It's
Yeah.
5 hour long mix on my Mixcloud. I released it yesterday.
okay. Well,
wow,
you know what?
yesterday. Wow.
Yeah, so I know. We will put that link on. Obviously, this is a pre-recording, so we'll be able to put that link on for you guys to actually check it out, download it, go check
can't
it out, go
download it.
listen to it.
You
You
can't
can't
download
download
it.
it. You just got to
No.
party to it.
Correct.
Okay, so
And
Mixcloud,
it's-
we are gonna check out Costa's music, and you know what? I'm sure, dude. It's Friday night. Me and Whitey normally play our music, but I'm sure we can link onto that and have Oaks party with us on Friday night. And freaking, I can't believe this, dude. I'm so happy you're doing this. You know how many guys in South Africa that are CEOs and doctors and shit now. That's just gonna bring back so many memories and stuff. It's insane. It's
Well,
it's crazy.
that was the idea behind it. So I'm working on part 2, which is more the
Yeah.
club versions, which
Yeah.
was the later part. Bump 1 to 10 were single CDs, 11 to 25, 24 were double CDs, and 25 to 35 were multiple CDs.
yeah,
So for me, the part 2 is going to be a lot longer because there's a
Yeah.
lot more club tracks to
Yeah.
put on part 2. So I
Yes.
might split that. I might put that part 2 and part 3. But it takes a long time to do because it's, like I said, part 1 is a 5 hour long mix.
yeah,
So
Really?
5 hours, you put it on, it runs through mixed, and I mixed it live. So I've been working on it for the past 2 weeks.
yeah,
And it was, like I said, it's never been done.
yeah.
And at least now, this is my vision of Best of Bump, not anybody else's vision. No interference from everybody. And the
Yes.
reason it's not downloadable because I'm not one for pirate music. I never have been. I believe the artists should get what they deserve.
Absolutely.
So it's only on Mixcloud. You can listen to it. Obviously, there are these techie people that are going to try and download it and do whatever they need to do to get it downloaded. But that's not my problem.
yeah,
My thing is this is an awareness thing, and for all the fans and my followers, that's why I did this mix yesterday. I
brilliant.
finished it. I
Well,
uploaded
dude,
it.
we are gonna support you all the way with that. I can't tell you how. I'm super excited. Like I'm gonna go into Mixcloud now and listen to it way long before any of these guys even have a clue. And we also fortunate enough. I see you sporting your Springbok colors there.
Yes.
To the guys that don't know, Costa's in the UK at the moment, and you know what? How's this Corona affected you, man? How's things that side?
Same as your side. Like I said, I have my personal views on the. We were discussing this before we went live.
Yeah.
My personal views on the matter, which I will not delve into for purposes. Uh, but at the same time, I believe and firmly believe that it's an overreaction.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a problem. Yes, there's an issue. I lost a very close friend of mine to the coronavirus,
Yes.
but he had an underlying condition already. He was suffering from cancer, and
Yeah.
Darren was the guy that used to run Numbers nightclub in East London for many years. He was the
Shit,
DJ, the manager, and he passed away on the 17th of April
I'm sorry
because
to hear that, man.
coronavirus um, affected what he was already going through.
Yeah.
So for me, it's personal. It's
Yeah.
a real issue, but I believe that the way it's been handled, the overreaction, the handling of it. When I say overreaction, I'm not meaning to the virus itself, but to the way it's been handled.
Exactly. Yeah.
Personally, I think they've not given people the information that is needed. A lot of people across the world have lost their jobs, are probably going to lose more jobs.
Yeah.
This is going to affect us for years to come.
Yeah,
If they
absolutely.
handled it properly, if things are done with a little bit of, guidance and a little bit of thought, and this is not just for one country, this is across the globe.
It's worldwide. Yeah.
I think things could have been and would have been better because
Yeah.
I've got a lot of people and friends in South Africa at the moment that are without work. DJs and the entertainment industry in South Africa is completely
Yeah.
shut down. How
Yeah.
you guys are meant to have work is beyond me. Like I said, I'm fortunate enough to be in the UK. I have work. But
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into what I do, but I do work in essential services.
Yeah.
So that's
Look.
the only reason I have work. Prior to that, things were shut down here as well. But the government here had helped the people. They were furloughed, what they call furloughed.
Yeah.
They were given a percentage of the companies that employed them were given 75% of the wages. So the company would apply to the government. I've got X amount of workers that I want to furlough. The government would pay the company would pay the workers.
You know what?
So
In South Africa, it's they're doing their fair share of it too, but it's now another. It's also become a racial thing again. So only black-owned companies can get grants and stuff from the government, and man, you know what? That's one thing where I wish I was there by your side because they've got a different vision. It's an international vision. There's no racial connectation to what you do and who you are.
I agree with you there. And like I said, I'm not one for politics on a music platform and on an entertainment platform, but I will say this.
Yeah.
The politics of Africa and South Africa in specific needed to be a little bit more transparent and needed to think things through because we're all one nation. It doesn't matter what color or race or nationality you are, because whether you're Greek, whether you're Italian, Japanese, Chinese, Indian, white South African, white European, black African, you name it. We're all human beings.
Yes.
And should be treated as such. That's just my opinion. I'm not interested in the politics of things. I don't care what color you are. I think we're all human beings, and we should all have been treated the same way. If you're telling me this of what's happening in South Africa, which is a very sad state of affairs, if that's exactly what's happening. So, from my side, I've tried to help where I can.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we all sit with the same position. And, here in the UK, a lot of people are also going to lose their jobs.
Yeah.
But a lot more has been done here. But companies were locked down here as well. So from that aspect, the political side, things are okay here.
Yeah.
It's
a bit more stable.
Everything's still shut down when it comes to entertainment. Hairdressers, the pubs, they're all closed. They're not going to reopen. I don't know
for a long time,
and not for at least next couple of weeks. They're going to stay closed. So
well, you do. At least there you can still get a dope and some cigarettes. Yeah, you can't even do that anymore. So wait, this Monday because this is a pre-recording, they did. You can sell alcohol now, but
Oh,
still
okay.
not cigarettes, because God knows who's making money on the illegal trade with that. But they are making a killing, so they're trying their best to fight it. We know British American Tobacco is also fighting it because they're losing billions in this, and you know what, we all for them, we totally support them. I think as a whole nation we can't believe this shit's happening. And you, once again, you know what, to come back to you, Costa, thank you for giving us your time, my brother. We are fortunate enough, Costa has sent through a mix for us that we are going to be using and be partying our pre-party for tonight. And he's going to get the party started for us. And dude, once again, thank you for everything you've done. You know what, you, like I say, you, the fiber of South Africa, when it comes to dance music, you are probably one of the most influential guys when it came to dance music to anybody that's out there today, DJs and everybody alike, that has made a difference in our lives. Is there anything you can say to the youth to keep their passion up, and you know, for the future DJs out there? Is there anything you want to say to them?
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for your kind words. I don't view myself as in that capacity, but I know everybody else does that does follow me, etc. So I say thank you for that. But
Yeah,
at the end of the day, the youth of today, the artists of today, the DJs of today, which are of the new era, there are a lot of them. There's a lot of very good ones.
yeah,
I say just keep the passion. Keep it real. Music must be your driving force, and music must never, and this is how I feel about it, must never be ever be used in a political manner. So
one
whether
time.
it's black music, Indian music, Afrikaans music, white music, it doesn't matter who it is, who you are, support music for what it is. It's there to
Yeah,
try and make people feel better when they're feeling down, and when they want to go out and have a good time, it lifts them up. That's just my.
absolutely.
So the youth of today need to know that music is there to make you feel better and happier. It's not there to politicize um, people and genres and skin color. And that's
Yeah.
just how I view it.
Well,
And
that's what made the Beatles so great, you know, is they I think were the first guys to actually show the world that music can change the world. And like and funny how when it did change the world, they got attacked, you know, like um John Lennon got shot because they mentioned that they were bigger than God, which they were. They were like Coca Cola. You can go anywhere in the world and say Coca Cola. People will know Coca Cola. But people didn't know. That's the same with the Beatles. They were that big. And I think music, uh, since the beginning of time, has been a medium for us to blend into different cultures, to see the beauty in other things, you know, in other people. And man, you couldn't be more spot on. That's spot on with what you just said.
But I will say this: the new guys in South Africa are doing a great job with all the streaming that they're doing.
Yeah,
They bring awareness to the situations. I've got a lot of good friends that have started other initiatives like Help South Africa.
yeah,
That's Sean Biggerton.
yes,
Mark Stent has been doing some live streaming. A couple of the other people that have been streaming as well have been looking for sponsors to help them stream. You know, that was to pay their bills, etc. You
yeah,
know, at the end of the day, just support the local guys, support the international guys. But like I will say this: support your local South African guys, whether it's a musician, a session musician, a DJ. It doesn't matter who you are.
yeah,
The public must support you guys. I don't drink, I don't smoke, but I
yeah.
just do not understand the concept behind of not allowing those two things.
Thank
And like
you.
I said, I don't do either.
Yeah,
But for me, it doesn't make sense.
yeah.
That's it. That's all I have to say. It just doesn't make sense.
Well, thanks a lot, my brother. And like I said, thank you for giving us your time. Ladies and gentlemen, DJ Costa, the backbone of South African dance music, and the guy who made us skit and rive our gata off. And you kept us skinny, bro.
I will say this though.
Yeah.
Whatever happened with Bump started at Bella Napoli. And my
Ah.
and my best friend Michael, who now
Yeah.
lives in Chicago, um, he and myself, Bella Napoli it is the place that gave birth to
Yes.
whatever happened after it. And
So a big
Bump,
shout out to Bellinapoli.
absolutely, because what I did at Bump,
Yeah.
I looked at Bellinapoli.
Well, big up, thank you, Bellinapoli, for freaking laying the ground there for us oaks to keep skitting our guts. And you know what? You were the one music that I could listen to at an English party, at a Buddha party. It doesn't matter which parties we went to. Bump was jamming, man. So thanks a lot. And guys, now we're gonna go through. We're gonna play you guys some of Costa's mixes that he sent through to us, and we hope you guys enjoy this. And once again, Costa, look after yourself, my brother. Stay safe. We miss you this side, and we can't wait to listen to you again and get those Bump stuff out. So best of Bump, is that what you said? Best of Bump on
Mixcloud, but best of Bump Part 1.
Best of Bump Part 1 on Mixcloud. So we will put out a link just now, and while we're partying to Costa's mix. So look after yourselves, and we'll see you now.
Thank you very much, Chris and Whitey. I appreciate it. Have a good day. Cheers.
Thanks, man.
Bye.
Bye.
There you go, guys. There you go. That was DJ Costa. Hoe awesome was dit? Oh shit, wag Chris. There we go. Is hy daar?
Yes, ek is hier so, man. Dude, ek wou net sê, dis die mix, dis die show waar ek nie my back kon hou nie, soos julle gehoor het, ou White het skaars 'n beerd gekry om te praat. Maar guys, I can see you guys are ready for a freaking awesome Friday night.
Ja.
Ons is reg, bra.
En hulle smeek ons al die hele fucking tyd vir 'n slukkie. So neem julle
slukkie.
foto slukkie.
Ja, vang 'n fotootjie daar so vir jou. Rudy Kleingeld, jou fucking huister. Slukkie.
Oh, guys,
En weet jy wat, dis Richelieu, dis nie R400 Richelieu nie, dit is fucking cheap Richelieu. En ek is so bly. Fucking, die hele week het ek gewag. Ek weet ek gaan vanaand hardsuip my bra, ek gaan lekker kuier. Ons gaan befakte music maak.
ja. En ons gaan bump music speel.
Ons gaan
hoe
bump
dit is.
music, Joel, man. En ek het 'n selection van bump stuff hier wat skrik vir fok.
Ek het fucking hoop bump CD's hier reg. Ek is fucking ready to rock
Dude,
roll.
jy gaan my nie glo nie. Ek het bump 1 tot 25 toe. Het ek nou hierdie week fucking die complete mixes alles gekry.
Check vir jou gangster, hè.
Yeah, man.
Listen,
Rudy
guys,
Cheap
before
Cock,
before we go to Twitch to start DJing for you guys, Warwick, al die mense wat nog nie vir ons 'n foto gestuur het nie, guys, check what it says there on our screen. It says email photos to the above email address if you want to be in our music video. cy.sabros@gmail.com.
Yes.
This is where we busy with our latest music video. So Rudy, Warwick, al julle mense wat nog nie gestuur het nie, send us an email with your picture. Let me just bring it on the screen as well so people can see what I'm talking about, where it says
SA Bros.
Thank you, SA
I love
Bros.
SA Bros. Thank you, SA
Ja.
Bros.
yes.
Enige
just-
iets, fok het, stuur net
Net
jou
wat jy wil.
fotootjie in.
Ja.
Ek weet, Margaret, we took a lovely picture with you, man. Dit was befok. Rudy Kleingeld, jy skuld my nog 'n foto.
Ja.
Ek weet hy en nou R5 sal probably vir ons 'n ding gooi. Ek weet ons gaan 'n R5 een op hê.
Ja. Ja.
So, maar dude,
ja, laat ek gou hierso vir die mense wys, idees kan gee.
Yes.
Any photos, guys, so check this out. So let me just take this banner away. Check that. Daar is nou Takbok met Sarah.
yes.
Dan next, hierso is next. Daar's ons Bradley as 'n turtle. Daar's Bradley. Ook Christo. Daar's dis check daai in Chris, dis van Cindy Lee wat sy dit vir ons gemaak het. Hoe befok is
awesome.
dit? Hè?
Always, en jy fucking rule. Hy's nog 'n Photoshop legend.
Ja, exactly. Well done. En daar's Kloete en Chris. Jy slukkie.
Fucking beer, ek mis daai bra.
En daar's ons Andy en vrou lief.
Nee, maar
we
daai
love
se
Esther.
klote nie, daai Sarah se sussie. Sy
Sarah se suster. Fuck, sorry. Jy het dit alweer losgelaat die beach.
Ja.
Daarso is Sarah met 'n takbok se vrou met haar bene so op die beach. Weet mos nie hoe om 'n lady te wees nie.
En ons praat van Sarah, hoor?
Ja, ons praat
Ja.
van Sarah. Daar's ons jy en nou Dennis.
Dennis the Menace, motherfucker.
Daar sê Van Damely, we love SA Bros. You see, guys, this is the type of shit we need. Daar's ons Jackie and Fran, SA Bros, our lockdown heroes. Dis 'n mooi een. Ek love it.
Daai 'n beautiful photo.
Ons het ook gesê julle diere in Swaan. Daar's ons Liz met haar Cody boy
met haar woef.
en daar's ons Kloete met MacGyver, my hond, my woefietjie. That's awesome, man.
That's a beautiful brocco.
Maggie, yours last night. It was
jou
awesome. There's your
sexy
Union
ding
Jack
alweer.
as well. Daar's your Union Jack.
Yes.
Wie's die
Die seksieste man onder God son, die enigste ou wat 'n fucking kop het op sy pens en sy bors dra.
Maar wat gaan hier aan? Wat the fuck gaan daar aan?
Nee, daai is van wrywing.
Dis van hierdie tipe ouens wat nie baard kan groei nie, wat net patches groei. Dan sê jy's reg,
Ek groei
Rudy.
net patches. Ek fucking hare groei nie op staal nie, ou maat.
Daar's vrou lief en Karatjie. We
En
love
my
SA
babbetjie.
SA Bros. Daar so is Sarah en haar man. Wat sê
Shara en ja.
Ja, en ja.
Ja. En ja.
Sean Wright, jou eyster. Ja,
Fucking
man wat
eerste ou
amper
elke
altyd
aand,
heel
man.
eerste is. Ja.
One time, what a legend.
Daar sê en ek het die een so mooi aan mekaar gesit wat sy het verby about 4 of 5 e-mails gestuur toe bliksem ek net alles aan mekaar in Photoshop vinnig vanoggend.
Dude, ek besef nou is so kak groot is daai hond.
Ja, daai ding is groter as sy.
Ja. Dis
Daar's ons Takbok en sy familie.
lekker.
Daar's
Ons
Takbok.
love julle. Die seksieste man.
Oom John daar uit Mansabtouti iewers.
Uncle Jay.
Daar's Isan Kishan Pisang Banana. Vas aan die slaap. Daar's oom Dani. Hy soos die weird Suid-Afrikaners wat die vlag onderste bo hou, maar nou ja. Hy het seker 'n paar hy het 'n paar tee sakkies, tee soppies in, wat ook al groente soppietjies.
Ja.
Daar's Kloete en Whitey. Hierdie was in wat was die plek se naam? Beach Bums gewees so 'n jaar of 2 gelede. Dit was befok gewees.
Slokkie.
So that's it, guys. That's the idea. That's what we want from you. So please email it to us. Julle fotootjies. Dit sal eyster wees. Ons hierdie music video gaan befok wees.
Exactly, man. Dude. Gaan ons DJ Costa se mix begin en as ons enige kak kry van Facebook
Ons gaan
af, kan ons
dadelik.
die laaste 10 minute aftrim.
Ons gaan kak kry, ek beloof vir jou, want
Is dit so?
selfs met
So
my
gaan ek en jy nog 'n bietjie kak praat en dan meet almal ons op Twitch.
Ek weet nie, kom ons vra hulle. Ek dink hulle wil hê ons moet fokke gaan DJ. Hulle wil hê ons moet ek het die mense dopgehou. Hulle sê hulle kan nie wag vir 'n jol nie.
Exactly.
Donderdags bro Thursdays wat ons kak praat. Ek dink ons gaan Twitch toe. Guys, are you ready to go and meet us at Twitch? Laat ek gou die Twitch fucking handle
Yes.
jou bliksem.
Moer hom maar op. Ek gaan so lank hierso.
Daar's hy. Daar's hy,
Net vir julle
guys.
laat weet.
So live on Twitch.
Ja.
It's twitch.tv/SA_bros. So eenvoudig soos dit. En dan sal
Join ons daarso, die fucking party gaan nou begin. Ek weet ek en White is hartless vir 'n hartskit. Ons gaan probably die eerste 20 minute vir julle ouens 'n bietjie Costa gooi en daarna gaan ons fucking self julle DJ julle Rudy Kleingeld, ons fucking DJ live, ons raak snot dronk. White het op sy verjaarsdag op sy arms aan die slaap geraak op 'n live fucking show en hopelik kan ek vanaand so dronk word. So dis die goal.
om Chris Doos dronk te kry. So guys,
Dis hy.
live on twitch.tv/SA_bros, SA_bros. Please catch us daar. Ons gaan nou fokke. Kyk vir Cindy. Die meisiekind fokke gaan mal. Ja, julle
Party
DJ.
time, julle fucking weet dit. Maar so
Alright, so
kinders,
ek gaan eers van YouTube afklim. Dit het die
Okay.
minste viewers en dan gaan ek